Dateline Vatican City, Tuesday, 22 April. Pope Francis, supreme leader of the Holy and Apostolic Catholic Church and its over 1 billion adherents worldwide, passed away earlier this week at the age of 88. And then, per papal tradition, his unembalmed, moldering corpse was put on public display for the remainder of the week, during which it was viewed by millions of the faithful, some of whom could be heard to remark, I don't know, I still think he looks better than Biden. Here in America, the usual idiots who somehow still have jobs on television, including the aforementioned Whoopi Goldberg, immediately went into hysterics, as they often do, worrying that the new pope would be less woke than good woke Frank. And while yes, it is true that the late pontiff said some things and harbored some views that were pretty wildly heterodox in terms of things popes have ever said before, I mean, after all, there is a reason I started calling him good woke Frank, but some of our friends on the left seem to be rather highly selective in which of this man's views they choose to listen to and acknowledge and celebrate. And so, as a public service for these folks, here's a couple of Pope Francis quotes on the topics that are nearest and dearest to the hearts of the wokesters. Here's Pope Francis on gay marriage. Quote, God cannot bless sin. Pope Francis on transgenderism. Quote, it is the ugliest ideology of our time. Canceling out the differences between men and women means canceling out humanity. End quote. And it goes without saying, obviously, that the man was not a very big fan of abortion or birth control. Really, the only area where the Pope's views were aligned with the views of the globalist left was in the area of migration. The former Jorge Maria Bergoglio was very much a liberation theologist. His views absolutely were influenced by the secular socialist left in 1950s and 60s Argentina. And the most obvious vestige of that was his belief that we shouldn't have any borders, man. They're just lines on maps, man. People should be able to go and live wherever they want, man. Wouldn't that be groovy? And yet, strangely, perhaps incongruously, he reigned as Europe's last absolute monarch over a nation-state with the most walled-off, most heavily policed frontiers in the entire world, so I guess take that wild juxtaposition for what you will. And now we move on to the papal conclave, which is always a fascinating exercise with its peculiar mix of medieval tradition and modern high technology, but it seems like each one goes quicker than the last one did. Because even when you're an 80-year-old Catholic cardinal, not having your smartphone for a few days is pretty much a fate worse than death. So it seems to move things right along, which is probably sort of a good thing. In other words, if you're a betting man, I don't know what the over-under is on the number of days that the conclave is going to take, but I'm saying take the under, and please gamble responsibly. However, if you're betting on shit like that, you probably already have a problem. I'm just saying.